Welcome, welcome, welcome. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. Because that's how you say it. We're very, 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 very strict code, and we do everything by the book. Okay, having said all of that, our co-host, who has been on assignment, a special superficial secret assignment for a while now, almost a week or two, Lindsay Man.
Hey, Brien. Thanks for having me back.
You should see the list. We were getting phone calls. The switchboard was lit up. I couldn't even do my show. Everyone's going, "Where's Lindsay? Where's Lindsay? Where's Lindsay?" And I said, "Hey, I know that I'm the better half, and I'm much more attractive, but..."
I know, Brien. This is like the highlight of my day. I can't wait to be back on the Ask Brien show.
Well,
I'm just trying not to get blown away outside. It's just crazy out there.
That is ridiculous. I actually had to put a drink on my car, and I was afraid it was going to blow away.
Yeah.
I mean, it's really, really windy. And just to let everybody know, it should not happen, but we are in rolling blackouts. What that means is the wind is so high, and the winds are going really gusting. It's because of that, the electric companies decided to put on a conservatorship and take care of any electrical problems that could cause a fire. So it is possible, though unlikely, that we could be out for a minute or two if the electricity would come out. So I want everybody to know that. Now, for those of you who have not listened to the Ask Brien Radio Show, again and again and again, I repeat myself each week. You don't know what you're missing. Now, do you want to learn about business? Do you want to have a business problem solved? Do you want to learn something that is going to make you more professional, more revenue, more income? The only way you can do that is to learn and create more knowledge. And how do you do that? You listen to the Ask Brien Radio Show. You listen to Lindsay Mann. You listen to Brian Johnson. You listen to YouTube videos that we post on the site. Now,
and all of our favorite guests. Come on now.
Well, obviously. Our show is our guests. We are here to serve the guests. But each week, the guests will share something valuable, something incredible, some secret sauce, When they have that commercial for McDonald's, 2 old beef patty special sauce, well, this is the special sauce.
It's all about the sauce.
And, of course, I love McDonald's. Anyway, getting back. Ask Brien Radio, and it's, how do you spell Ask Brien, Mr. Engineer? With an E! Because the only way to spell Brien is with an E. Anyone that spells it Y-A-N, I-A-N, go back to school, guys. You don't know how to spell Brien. Brien is with an E. E. Okay. Now, and how did we come up with Ask Brien? Well, try to get a domain name with a proper noun in today's society. Well, guess what? I could have got Ask Call, I could have got Ask Milt, or I could have got Ask Brien with an E. And we know who won. Brien with an E. So, on the Ask Brien website, we have a business community where business owners can ask other business owners a question. I own a dry cleaner in Montreal, Canada. I own a dry cleaner in Tahiti. And guess what? Even though the laws are different, they may experience some similar issues. Not in Tahiti, though, but maybe in Montreal, I left my fur coat here. It's not going to happen in Tahiti. More like I left my, bikini or something along those lines. Now, the reality is people can have the same business problem, and they're in the same industry, and they can ask others questions. That's how it started. But then we realized we need experts. What's an expert? Somebody who typically has 10,000 hours in a subject. That's 2,000 hours. That's 40 hours a week, 50 weeks a year for 5 years. Then you know something. Until then, you don't know anything. Occasionally, we have exceptions. If you want to become an expert, you must apply, and we may or may not qualify you. Lindsay's really tough because she's doing all the vetting. So if you didn't get accepted, it's all Lindsay's fault.
Oh, thanks.
Okay. Now, without any further ado, A-D-I-E-U for those non-spellers out there. Ado. We have an absolute amazing guest. I'm so excited. I just can't stop. But Mr. Jason Portnoy! Are you there?
Wow, I feel like I need like a theme song and start marching into a boxing ring with that type of thing. So thank you so much. That's great.
Well, we do try to make the show a little lively. Of course, it's very,
Love
very
it.
lively when I have my co-host.
Well, hands down the best intro I've gotten so far. So.
Well, good. I'm the best at something. That's always good to know. So I have a couple questions, and then Lindsay has a ton of questions. She's like frothing. I got question. We'll get to her in a minute. So let's go a little bit about your background. Your company is called J-Port Media. Is that correct?
Yeah. So it's we're a full-service digital ad agency. Really started a couple of years ago with Facebook ads. I became really interested in Facebook ads a while ago. I had a clothing line that I launched called True Rivalry. We were in over 250 stores across North America.
Wow.
Really built it on the backbone of social media at the time, which didn't exist of Facebook ads or Instagram, but it was built off Twitter and what's now called influencer marketing. I became friends with a lot of professional athletes, had them wear my stuff for free, and that kind of got me more exposure, really built the brand up. But what really took it to the next level was when I first started off, I was lucky enough to be mentored by Damon John from Shark Tank. I reached out to him a few times on Twitter after reading his book where he says he likes helping young entrepreneurs. I kept saying, I'm a young entrepreneur. Where's my help? And kept reaching out to him multiple times until finally his assistant's like, all right, you're borderline annoying, but we'll give you the meeting. Can you come into New York? And I said, 100%. He's like, can you be here this date? I said, with pleasure. I went to New York, ended up meeting with him. That meeting was life-changing in the sense that it wasn't just that 1 hour meeting and the great advice I got from him, but I built a relationship with him where he started to mentor me once a quarter. And that turned into a friendship past the clothing industry into this year, into this life, whatever you want to call it, into the agency world. He's still been a really, really good friend and mentor of mine. So he really helped me. Sorry?
So the number one thing to do is be annoying. And you know what? Everybody here says, I got that covered. I'm so annoying.
Yeah.
I got it. Success is right around the corner.
You call it, people call it annoying, I call it persistence, and people ask me like, what's the number one thing you like? How'd you get all this? And the truth is, I asked. Most people don't ask. Yeah, and if they do ask, they leave it at one time. They don't ask again and again and again. Follow up is the most important part of any business. It's the most important part of sales.
I agree 100%.
Right? So you need to be able to follow up. I did that. I was just a bit persistent, but I was respectful. I was never, just slamming him in DMs all day. I was really trying to make it fun and energetic and trying to get his attention. I did. We ended up having our quarterly meetings. Mentor of mine. End of the day, realized I hated the clothing world. I saw where retail was going. Really, 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 really hated it. And I guess first business lesson I learned, I guess, on myself is that I wasn't self-aware enough to realize you could really just hire a ton of people that do the work you don't like to do. But I wanted to have my hand in every part of the business, which really ultimately burnt me out. And I had enough of it. My wife said, make a decision. You love marketing. You love the clothing world. You hate the clothing world. You love marketing. Figure it out. But you're not happy, so you got to figure this out. So I started playing around with Facebook ads, spent a lot of money on the clothing brand, knew I was getting good at it. But my question was, how do I get clients, right? So I was doing a lot of local consulting for businesses who saw what I was doing for my own business. I'd go in and help them. But then I started to run ads in order to get clients, which sounds like, yeah, everyone does that. But really when I did it, not many people were doing it. And I did it with one goal in mind or one intention. And that's when they got on the call with me and they asked me, well, how do I know this works? How do I know you're good? I couldn't just say, well, I've done it for myself, because people want more of a case study than what you've done on yourself. Maybe it's a one-hit wonder. But I'd always say, well, how do we get on this call? And they said, well, I clicked on your ad. Oh. I'm like, boom. You clicked on my ad. I showed that I could bring you in. I showed that I understand how this whole funnel system works, and started bringing on clients. And I was lucky enough, one of my first clients was doing $2,500 a month in sales. We scaled them to $300,000 a month in sales profitably within 11 months. And that became the Lighthouse study that kind of got, a lot of clients hearing about us and coming over.
Wow. So, okay, some people, I know this, okay, but some people don't even understand the whole part of ClickFunnels and getting people over. And so can you go over and explain to somebody, make pretend somebody hasn't advertised yet on Facebook, and they want to learn, okay, how do I create an audience that is going to be an audience that's going to hit my target market? How do you do that?
Yeah, really simple. I mean, I could oversimplify it, but there's a lot more work that goes behind it. But really, it was, all right, so I knew targeting is probably one of the most important things. Who is in need of my service? I speak to most clients now, and they can't even answer that question. So more importantly than how do I get more clients or how do I get more businesses, who's your market? Every client I speak to sits there and says, well, everyone theoretically is my market. I want to sell to everyone. And that never really works. And I used to say the same thing. Well, anyone could buy my clothing, anyone. And then you start really, niching down and figuring out who your exact audience is. So we do research. We help them strategize and figure out who their audience is. Now, once they know who their audience is, it's super simple. We could target them. On Facebook, for example, and other platforms, you could actually search for interests that meet that criteria. So we'll go as deep as, let's say you're selling digital cameras. Well, what's one type of person who needs digital cameras? Photographers. So and you can't really just target on these platforms, hey, I want to show this ad to every photographer. So what you have to get creative. What do these photographers read? What blogs are they reading? What are they interested in? Are they looking at different equipment as well? Targeting those makers of those equipment, because we know that fits the mold of what a photographer looks like. And then the most important thing that most businesses don't have, and it's so funny, in 2019, almost 2020, most businesses don't have this, is what's called a pixel. A pixel on your site. It's a Facebook pixel or whether it's Google Analytics. All it does is it allows you to track people on your site. So if you've ever been on a site or said something, and then all of a sudden start looking at Facebook or Instagram, and all of a sudden you're seeing ads for that product, or maybe you've added it to cart on a store and then start seeing ads for that product and wondered, how do they know? How are they getting this information? Why am I being shown this? It's because you've done something that the pixel tracked you, and now we could retarget you. So we could actually build audiences of people who visited your website, of people who clicked a form, of people who performed a certain action, and then we start targeting those people as well.
Is that retarget or remarketing?
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I thought it was called remarketing, but I'm a novice. So
remarketing, retargeting, it's synonymous. It's so some people say remarketing, so you're showing the marketing back to the different people. We call it retargeting because you're retargeting people who were a step up in your funnel.
Yeah, I feel like business is like test, and then just to see like which one works and which one doesn't. It's very important.
I think people test.
Always. I'm always testing.
I agree with you. I think testing is super important. I think it's one of the most underrated things. I think people expect things to click, or people are expecting that one of these platforms are going to be your magic pill. We're an agency. We spend millions of dollars on these platforms. And I'll tell you, there is no secret sauce. We test. We test a lot. We're just really good at seeing what those numbers say, right? So with the numbers that come back, we're really good at seeing the story that those numbers say or the numbers tell, and then pivoting and analyzing and just making changes.
So when you're starting a campaign, are you coming out with a Facebook ad right away? Are you coming out with an ad right away, a landing page, a survey? What would be your first?
I think it all depends. I think it all depends what the client needs. And I'm a big fan. I love Facebook ads. I still think Facebook. And when I say Facebook, I mean Facebook, the messenger platform, Instagram, everything that Facebook owns. I think it's still the best advertising platform in the world. But it may not be the right first step. I think, and I also believe in omnipresence. I think you have to be everywhere. There's two reasons why businesses fail, right? and it's really the same reason. It's just obscurity. Either one, they don't know you exist, so they can't do business with you, or two, you don't do a good enough job reminding them that you exist so they can continue doing business with you. Marketing allows you to hit both those angles.
So how would you know if it's the right places to Facebook and Instagram versus Google PPC versus LinkedIn or any of the other ones out there? Or traditional advertising, by the way. You know, I know everyone says digital agency and that's it, but, you know, traditional advertising is not dead.
Not at all. And I hate when people say things are dead. For a long time, people said email is dead. If you're in e-commerce and 30% of your revenue isn't coming from email, there's a big problem. So, I mean, everyone likes to say things are dead. I think things are just overpriced. I think for the cost of putting up a billboard in the middle of LA, when I could target everyone in California, I like the second option better. So it's just a matter of what works. But I think everything works. It's just how you're using them. So you asked a really good question. How do I know which platform to start at? I think you need to really take a step back before that and sit there and say, well, what's the journey I want my customers to take or my clients to take? How do I get them from becoming a customer and client to becoming an advocate? And if you can map that journey out, the things will start popping out for you where you need to go, where you need to advertise.
You guys, I have to beg to differ here. I think that traditional marketing is out big time. I think that, you know, it's people's attention spans are focused more towards the Facebook, the Instagram, the podcasts, especially podcasts now. I mean, this is almost like a direct link to getting business. It's like a hot lead system. Do you, and we know that you actually have a podcast too, and that is Jason Portnoy?
Yeah, it's called Perfectly Mentored, and you're right. It's been a great lead generation. I just don't think it's dead, right? When it comes to Super Bowl time, how come everyone's talking about Super Bowl TV commercials?
And they're $10 million a pop. And they're $10 million a pop.
You could say that's the one time that you're picking it, but it's not. It's just a matter of, yes, TV is overpriced, radio is overpriced. But if you could there's a reason why the biggest brands in the world spend billions of dollars, not only on digital marketing, but also on traditional media. And they buy arenas with their name on it. It's because they always want to stay top of mind. They always want to be everywhere.
I agree with you. You have to be everywhere if you can. A big company with billions of dollars, they should be everywhere. They should be on the sports arena. They should be in a magazine. They should be in the newspaper, and they should be on Instagram and Facebook and everywhere. You know, I think maybe a lot of people, you know, maybe they have an e-commerce business and they think that that's all they need to be. I mean, even Amazon advertises on television. So, I mean... Yeah.
But we're thinking just paid, right? You could get articles written about you in your local newspaper, that could do great for business for you, and that's free, and that's traditional media.
Right.
So I consider that to be publicity, but
how do you know where to value your money in media? Like which one to go to?
Well, it depends on what you have. What's your product and what's your service? I think is important. But I'll let Jason answer the question.
No, you said it. I think it depends on the products you have. It depends on the money you have, and it depends on what your goal is. I think if you're a local business and you're really based off search intent, so like people are looking at restaurants or whatnot, I think maybe Google is your best bet before Facebook. If you're selling direct to consumer, I think Facebook is your best bet.
Are you working with the majority of brick and mortar stores or online brands?
So we work mostly with online brands. We have a couple of local brick and mortar and also local services. Sorry?
No, I'm sorry. Keep going.
No. I think I was gonna answer your question, but I'll let you ask it.
Actually, we have to take a break right now, so we'll be right back.
We're KHTS 1220 in 98.1 FM.
The best live theater can be found right here in the Santa Clarita Valley. The Canyon Theater Guild has been entertaining audiences for decades with top quality musicals and plays. Located on Main Street in Old Town Newhall, CTG also offers workshops for the young actor in your family. For more information, call the box office at 799-2702 or go online to canyontheater.org.
Olive Terrace Bar and Grill is the hottest new Mediterranean fusion restaurant in Santa Clarita with unique delicacies like seafood right off the boat, mouth-watering prime steaks, artesian sandwiches, delicious pastas, and tasty kebabs. Unwind on their cozy outdoor patio at their weekend champagne brunch, full menu, and weekly specials at oliveterracebarandgrill.com. Check out their full bar and happy hour daily specials in Valencia on Copper Hill and Newhall Ranch Road by LA Fitness. Olive Terrace Bar and Grill, delicious food seasoned with love.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the law office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the law office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
At Advanced Audiology, we know how important hearing is to you, your loved ones, your work success, your safety, and your ability to stay in the game. Most people won't admit hearing loss to themselves or others. We make it easy for you. Today's digital hearing aids come in a variety of styles, including invisible. All feature-rich, providing unparalleled hearing quality, wearing comfort, and automation that simplifies your life. Don't be fooled by our imitators. There's only one Advanced Audiology with the purple sign next to AAA on Valencia Boulevard.
This is Jeremy Steppen, owner of Resurgence IT. With cyber threats coming at us from all directions, how can you protect yourself and your company? Coming up Wednesday, November 6th, we're hosting a cybersecurity event focused on executives and upper management. This event has one purpose, which is a call to action to prioritize cybersecurity for your business. The event runs from 7:30 to 11:30 a.m. and will include breakfast, leading industry speakers, and a practical knowledge you can take with you to protect your business. Take control of your IT before it takes control of you. Be on the lookout for more information on resurgenceit.com.
Dreaming of becoming the next Steph Curry or Klay Thompson, or maybe just you want your kid to look good and have fun on the court? Introducing the Shotmaster. The Shotmaster is a revolutionary basketball training aid that isolates the shooting pocket, allows you to develop that consistent shot. Shotmaster will improve your shooting efficiency, accuracy, and shooting percentages dramatically. It's the ultimate training device. There's nothing like it. Visit shotmaster.net and discover for yourself how Shotmaster will become your game changer. Shotmaster.net.
At iLead Agua Dulce, we believe the most important thing a child can learn in school is who they are. Life's real tests are never standardized, which is why we've developed an individual-based curriculum that values exploration, cooperation, and creativity. As our learners grow, so do we. Our tuition-free charter school is currently enrolling grades TK through 7th and adding 8th grade in 2020. Your young learner will be immersed in a unique environment where possibility and self-discovery are at the core of every experience. The Agua Dulce campus features beautiful indoor and outdoor spaces for hands-on inspiration, including a robotics lab, a garden bed, a greenhouse, and a technology-based exploratorium. iLead Agua Dulce is conveniently located on the east side of the Santa Clarita Valley, just off the 14 freeway. Check out our homeschool options too. To schedule a campus tour or learn more about our programs, visit iLeadAguaDulce.org. We're enrolling now. iLead Schools. Free to think, inspired to lead.
Hometown, your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. I don't know what everyone's going about. Okay. We're back, and we have a great guest. We're also very, very lucky to have back my co-host, who has been out on assignment, but now she's back. We'll see. Hopefully for a couple more weeks. We'll see. She always likes the assignment. She's like a detective.
That's right.
Lindsay Mann.
Thank you.
And our guest, Jason Portnoy. Jason, you're back. Okay. So before
I'm back. Ooh, pumped.
Yeah. Let's go. High five. All right. So I should have been a coach. We're back, and we were talking about which platforms are better for specific types of products and services. We talked about different platforms and different, if you're local, maybe you want to do the SEO search or the PPC search campaign. If you're a big brand, you want to be everywhere. Okay. How do you define which is the best? Well, so let's come up with a widget. Okay. So we come up with a widget. What platform am I going to select, and how am I going to identify which is the best platform for me?
So I think if you're going direct to consumer, I like I said, I don't think there's a better platform than Facebook, because it allows you to showcase, get instant feedback. I mean, even if you were coming up with a widget and you haven't made them yet, and it could be used as a modern day focus group even, and see what people are reacting to and how they like it. I would say if you're starting that way, if you have your widget, you run Facebook ads first, you start getting a little bit more sales, then you start taking money from the sales and reinvesting it back into marketing and have that halo effect of keep bringing in more and more sales.
How do you collect that money on Facebook? Like when you get this, yeah.
No, like if you had a store and you sold something.
Right.
So technically, you're driving them to your site. So if your site is on Shopify, for example, you're collecting the money either through Shopify payment, your own payment processor, Stripe, PayPal, whatever it is.
Okay, so Facebook.
You pay Facebook. Facebook never pays you.
All right.
Mark Zuckerberg has a really good platform there, huh? He only collects.
Unless you're a shareholder, and then sometimes it's good, sometimes it's bad.
Well, now one of the things you said was, and Lindsay has a question, but one of the things you said was to consumer, right? So let me ask you a question. I'll give you an example. I have a trademark service, okay? I offer a trademark service. Is that B2B or B2C? Because technically it's a business, so you would say to B. However, most of the people that are coming to buy a trademark registration at a discounted price from a legal fee, they're kind of like more consumers. So are they a B or they're a C?
I think they are. I think you're a service based. I think that's more of a distinction whether it's B2B or B2C. I think you're a service based industry. So no one's going on Facebook. So like I said, it goes back to search intent, right? What's the intent of the user on that platform? On Google, they're looking for something. On Facebook, Instagram, they're there and they're just kind of wearing a different hat and playing around. So I would say no one's going on Facebook saying, hey, Facebook, I'm going to scroll through my feed or Instagram through my feed and see if I can find a trademark lawyer in my feed. No one's doing that. But on Google, people are Googling trademark lawyer. So I would say your best bet is to go PPC first, to go Google, because the search intent's really, really high. However, I wouldn't rule out the other platforms like Facebook because it could help build your authority. You want to become the authority in the figure. You want to be the trademark guy where you have leads coming to you nonstop. That only happens when you're putting out content. And that content lives on those platforms. They don't live on Google.
So is that more of a content marketing strategy versus a platform-based strategy?
You could call it that, I guess, but I think all marketing becomes a content strategy. I think content is king in today's world. So I think that's super important. I don't think content really depends on the platform. I think the content has to be good on every platform.
Have you ever used, for marketing, LinkedIn, Pinterest? There are other things out there now.
Yeah.
What do you think about those companies?
So, again, works. I find LinkedIn a little bit more expensive. I think from an organic standpoint, an organic reach, meaning posting without putting any money in, hands down, LinkedIn is the best platform in the world right now. From an organic standpoint of putting something out there and most people seeing it, that's LinkedIn. It's like how Facebook was years ago. So if you want to get in on, or you're sad you missed out on the early days of Instagram and Facebook with organic reach, LinkedIn's where it's at right now. Pinterest has some ways to go. I love the platform. I think Snapchat too has a great platform, has a great ad platform, and work. They still have some ways to go, but yeah, I love LinkedIn. The only thing I don't like about LinkedIn is when people use it in the wrong way. So what people do is they'll set up all these different funnels with messages going to people. The problem is we get so annoyed on these platforms when people spam us, but when we think we send out messages, we don't consider that spam either, right? We market to people the way we hate being marketed to. And that's a big problem. If you could respect the platform, if you could figure it out and come in a little bit different. Like I've had people message me all the time on LinkedIn, and in my profile, it says exactly what I do for a living. And it's written black and white. And I have people come in and be like, hey, do you need a digital marketer to help take your brand to the next level? I'm like, do you read what I do for a living? And I get this all the time. And then you get financial advisors that message you sitting there saying, hey, we'd love to discuss your account. I've never met you before. You haven't come in. So there's no nurturing. The biggest problem with marketing and sales is when it comes to online sales and marketing, people throw out real-world sales tactics. They just think, hey, let me just spam everyone, and if a couple of people say yes, it's great. I'm going to throw everything at the wall and hope something sticks. But in reality, you wouldn't walk into a bar and scream to every single person and be like, hi, I'm a financial advisor. Hi, I'm a financial advisor. Can I look over your portfolio? Hi, I'm a financial, and then hope someone says yes. It's not the way it works. You build that relationship up, ask about them. You kind of build that up. But it's long. It takes more work, so people don't want to do it. It's way easier to copy and paste a message and send it to 1,000 people.
And when you say organic on LinkedIn, is that just putting a post on your own page, or is there a way to spread it out to other people?
Yeah, if you put a post on your page and you use the right hashtags, for example, or you tag certain people, what happens is it's not just shown to your friends. If someone likes it or comments on your post, it's now shown to their world too. So that increases your visibility. So from an organic standpoint, putting something out, especially a video, videos are really, really big these days, putting out a video and you talking about trademark laws or the top three the top three myths about trademarking that every business new entrepreneur should know. You start talking in the language that LinkedIn is, which is very business-oriented. You put out the video and start offering value, people will like it, people will comment, and it will be shown to more people. The more people that comment, the more people that like, the more people will see it, the more people will see your profile.
But isn't that any platform that has a share button, isn't that the same thing?
So difference between a share button and it happening organically without anyone sharing it. So you'll have a way bigger reach. So for example, just to prove a point, hypothetically, if I put a post out on Facebook or Instagram, less than 1% of my people will see it, of the followers will see it. That's why when people ask me how many times should you post, Gary Vaynerchuk, Grant Cardone, those people, they're posting 3 to 5 times a day. And the reason they're doing it is because chances are you didn't see their first post. Unless your notifications are, you didn't see it because their organic reach is low, or unless they're putting money behind it. So you could put out multiple posts. So from an organic standpoint, less than 1% of your audience will see it. On LinkedIn, don't know the numbers, but it's way higher than that. So you have 1,000 fans, way more people out of that 1,000, or 1,000 followers, I should say, or contacts on LinkedIn. Way higher percentage of those 1,000 will see your content without any money being spent on it or without anyone performing any action.
I think
Watch the views on a video you post organically on LinkedIn versus something you post on Instagram or Facebook, and it's going to be night and day.
So my question is, on Facebook, let's say you have a business Facebook, but you also have a personal Facebook. Which one do you use? If I'm sending 3 posts today, I don't think I want to send that on my personal one, right? But what do you find in the market? How the people that you work with, are they doing it through a business Facebook or a personal?
So if you're a brand, you don't have a personal, right? So, but if you're doing a personal branding, like let's say you're a lawyer or a plumber or whatever it is, it depends on what you want. See, I use Facebook. I don't use Facebook for personal reasons anymore. It's all work. I have a lot of contacts on there. Most of them I've never really met or said hello to, but I use it because I put out content. More people on your personal side will see it than on your business side. So it depends how you want to do it. I could be more controversial on my personal than I can on my business because I don't want to get shut down or flagged by Facebook. So I could kind of have to be a little bit safer on the business page, but I could be a bit more controversial, a bit more real, a bit more raw on my personal side. So I use both. In fact, I actually was very heavy on the personal page and not so active on my business page and not so active on my personal page. I've now switched that because I'm getting way more reach from my personal.
Yeah.
And another thing you could do is use groups. So go into groups and add value. So there's tons of business startup groups or entrepreneur groups. So if you're a trademark lawyer, for example, I don't know where I'm getting that example from, but let's say you knew someone who was a trademark lawyer and you wanted to get more business, you could go into all these entrepreneur startup groups and start offering value, start offering some sort of trademark legal advice, the difference between a trademark and, a copyright. You start coming in and putting out content, people will start relating and they'll start seeing you as that person. So that's another way. I've gotten clients from just being in groups, not promoting, but just adding value, commenting on people's questions, making my own posts in there. But mostly it's going through the comments if someone asks a question and doing my best to add value. And if they like it, chances are they reach out to me.
So when a business is going to take up on this Facebook platform, can they do it themselves, or do they have to hire people to do this work in their company, or do they hire, let's say, you?
So this is a very good question. In life, you pay for, there's two currencies, time and money. So it all depends what you have. If you have more time than money, you spend the time doing it yourself. You spend the time doing the research, putting in the hours, learning, making the mistakes, and figuring things out, watching YouTube videos. Like I said, there's no secret sauce. Anyone could put in the work and become a great marketer. We've put in tons of hours and a lot of money and a lot of mistakes in order to figure out in order to become better. So you can do that too. Or if you don't have time's super valuable and limited, then you have to hire someone.
So if you don't want to put in that time, how do you know how to hire the right people? I think this is one of the hardest things in business. There's a lot of junk out there.
Yes.
Did you hire people when you start?
Yeah, of course. Of course, I hired people, and I hired the wrong people.
Where'd you find them from?
I've had
We said they were the wrong people.
Did you find them from Facebook? Did you find them from?
Are they
LinkedIn
still working there?
Or some newspaper ads?
No, you find them through like we put out job posts, we put them out on LinkedIn, we put them out on Facebook, we put them out everywhere on Indeed or Upwork, where whenever we have a job opening, that's where we post. I think we get a lot of prospects that come our way saying they've been burnt by other agencies.
Yeah.
And I think that's the more important way to take this question. And my answer is always the same. I mean, I'm very, very vocal about this industry. I think this industry has become super polluted. It makes me really sad that in a recent poll, marketers rank lower in trust than politicians.
Wow.
But aren't they lower than lawyers?
That's a good question. I don't know, but I would assume yes. That's because there's a lot of noise out there. People telling you, and showing off their Lamborghini and saying, "Hey, we've taken this business to this amount and that amount," and posting results without context or without showing the money behind things. I've been very, very active against the gurus of this industry and trying to clean it up because I like helping businesses grow. Right. I love it. Right. I love seeing what was done for my business through helps of people like Damon John, and I love doing the same thing back. I love building brands. We never really took on drop shippers who just wanted to sell one product and make a ton of money and leave and close up shop. They didn't care if their product worked or not. I like building brands. That's my jam. That's what I'm interested in. And we say no to a lot of clients too because A, we don't want to be anyone's last $5,000. Right? We don't want to be anyone's Hail Mary attempt to take their business to the next level. I won't sleep at night knowing that a business is now out of business because they spent all their money on this agency. I will tell them straight up they're not the right fit and they shouldn't hire an agency. There's questions you should ask. you got to ask an agent for a result. What have they done before? Have they worked in your industry before? What were the results similar? What are they seeing now across their industry? Right. So if you're selling golf clubs, have you worked in the sporting goods before? What do you see as a trend going on in the sporting world right now on online marketing? You got to ask certain questions and pick. And just like it has to be the right fit for them, they have to be the right fit for us too. So I think you have to eventually take a leap of faith. We tell our clients all the time sometimes that, I'll ask for your trust or your faith just the first month, and then it's up for me to earn it every single month after that. Because there is that little bit of faith that's needed. You could ask all the right questions. You could write, and all the answers could be great, and you could get a bad agency. But just because you bite your tongue doesn't mean you're going to stop eating food.
So, what is your biggest failure?
My biggest failure personally, or my biggest failure
business-wise
from an agency standpoint?
Business-wise.
So I think maybe my biggest failure was not realizing or not becoming self-aware enough fast enough in the clothing business that you could hire for your weaknesses. That I needed to have my hand done in everything, and how it had to be on my shoulders and not on a dream team of people behind me.
But were you
with me or side by side with me?
Were you actually capable of paying somebody to take on those roles at that time?
Yeah, we were, and 100%. I just think it was wanting to save money. It was I was young. I wanted to have more money in my account, and I was afraid to take any risk of really expanding. So, we hire people now because I believe it will help scale the agency. Most people see hiring as a cost. I see it as an investment. I did not see it that way when in my first business.
We're going to be right back at KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM with Jason Portnoy.
The city of Santa Clarita has so much going on this year. Be on the lookout for amazing events happening throughout the year, including the Cowboy Festival, concerts in the park, Thursdays at New Hall, and the Santa Clarita Marathon. There are also a number of fun activities and things to do year-round, including outdoor recreation, hiking and bike trails, adult classes, art exhibits, youth sports programs, and more. You can even sign up to be a volunteer. Learn more at santa-clarita.com.
If you have a business problem, if someone doesn't honor their agreement and you need an aggressive attorney with over 27 years experience, the law office of Peter Bronstein has helped partners resolve disputes, franchisees resolve disputes, and other business owners who have a challenge. Let the law office of Peter Bronstein take your stress away. Visit lacorporateattorney.com. Don't wait too long and lose your rights. Solve your business challenge problem today. Visit lacorporateattorney.com.
It's like no other station I've ever listened to. It's great.
Your hometown station.
Welcome back. You're listening to KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. Yeah. We're back with Lindsay Man.
Woohoo!
Lindsay, you there?
I'm here.
That's a long introduction. I don't know who that guy is. All right, and we have Jason Portnoy. Jason, you there?
Yeah, wow. Now we took from like a boxing champion introduction to like someone you want off the show quickly.
No, actually, it's called hit 'em. It's called constantly challenging people and expecting something. Once you expect it, then you're dry and boring. But once you like hit them a different way, I didn't see it coming. So I've accomplished my goal. And you've accomplished your goal because you're really, really, really helping out this audience understand things. So Lindsay had a couple more questions, but I wanted to go back. Before you started in the clothing business, before you met the guy from the TV show, who were you? What did you do? How did you get to the point where you got into the clothing business?
So I was a horrible student who hated school. but somehow managed to just get by studying the night before the exam with decent enough grades to get into one law school early admission, which I said no to.
Smart
I didn't
guy.
want to go back to more school. I didn't want to go to more school. Graduated with a poli-sci degree, which meant I qualified to do absolutely nothing.
Thank you.
No offense to people with poli-sci degrees, but yeah. And then I took a job doing business development for a recruitment firm. So I wasn't finding people jobs. I was finding the jobs, the companies that needed jobs to hire our recruitment firm to find them the people. So I was doing business development, and I would see, what people were bringing into the business, and, we had a giant leaderboard in the office, what people were bringing in, and I would see what everyone's paychecks were. And I was like, there's a giant disconnect here of what we're bringing in for the business. And I felt the owners, one of the owners would sit and watch DVDs all day, so it wasn't really so inspiring. And I had to, based off my schooling, I have issues with authority. I don't like being told when and where or what to do or where to be.
Hear, hear.
And little did I know that all sums up just being an entrepreneur. But yeah, so just really going off that, I literally had a dream. So I had a dream that I had a T-shirt that I put on a T-shirt and I got tons of press on it. It was a very, very weird dream. And I kept telling people I want to make this T-shirt. It was based off a hockey team. I want to make this T-shirt. I want to make this T-shirt. I get so much press. I wasn't even thinking of sales. I just wanted.
It wasn't the Canadians, was it? We're not talking about the Montreal Canadiens, are we?
I am talking about the Montreal Canadiens. And I was just going to get so much press on this, and people are like, "Well, how do you make money off of it?" I'm like, "Wow, that's a good question." I'm like, "Well, what if I made a one-stop shop for sports fans to buy and not generic logo stuff, but fun, graphic T-shirts that really speak to the game." And I made a shirt, and it ended up getting a ton of press in Canada, and really that started my entrepreneurial journey.
Listen, there's one thing I forgot to do at the beginning of the show, and I promised a friend of mine. My friend Mark Hirschberg has been married for 20 years to Brenda Ligorski, and here's a how. Congratulations, guys. All right,
Yay.
We're back.
Congrats.
Congratulations.
I almost forgot to say that. I've known him since we were playing street hockey in the streets at 6 years old, and that was, many, many moons ago.
So how did you know, where to buy the T-shirts? How much quantity did you have to buy? I mean, how did you just do that? It doesn't sound like a very easy thing to do.
Oh, no. So you think it would be easy, right? You just put up 150 designs on a website, and then when someone orders one, you go print one. And then until they tell you with screen printing that, okay, you want to order one, it's $30. I'm like, but I just sold it for $20. So then they're like, well,
you're losing money.
So I'm like, so that's a horrible business model right there, right? So
Right.
I was like, well, how do I make this profitable? They're like, well, if you order 36 of them, it becomes this price. If you order 72, and they showed me all the breakdowns. I'm like, well, I guess I'll order 36 if someone ordered one, and that makes the most sense. And then no one ever ordered that shirt again, and I'd be stuck at 35.
How much money did you
then
start
Is that why you have a lot of T-shirts in your closet?
It started in my parents' basement, and yes, they still have a lot of the first go around of that business T-shirts. Yeah,
I have a lot of Ask Brien hats.
Still
I
have
want one.
Yeah, and then you make a mistake, you don't make it again. You start sitting there saying, okay, well, I'm not going to make the shirt until 5 people have it or 10 people order it, and then you start realizing that journey takes a lot longer than you expect because no one's ever heard of you. So that one person is now waiting a month for their shirt. They cancel the order because they're pissed off at you, and now you don't have any orders. So you start learning, and then when I was doing it, it was a lot harder. Like now you have so many print on the mat. You have so many different resources. Like the excuses are gone. But when I did it, I depended a lot on wholesale. I would sit there and say, okay, the best way to do this is go to a store. If a store orders 36 of them, then I could print 72. Now the store would cost, I'd start doing the math, and it becomes a numbers game. All right, how many does the store have to order for me to have this many on the side that I could sell online for a bigger profit margin? And you start learning the numbers game. My brother-in-law owns his own company with him and his brother, and I first sat down with him, and they asked me number questions, and I had no clue what they were talking about. margins, cost of goods. So I had no clue what they were talking about.
Right.
And you start learning all those things for yourself. I'm self-taught by making a ton of mistakes, and nowadays there's no excuse. If I made those mistakes again, it would be because I didn't do the research. Because nowadays everything's available to you.
So if somebody wants to hire you, where are they going to go? They're going to Jport Media?
Yeah, go to jportmedia.com. You can book a consulting call there, and let's talk and see if we're the right fit. I really believe we're in a really unique time period right now. I think no matter how big you think Facebook is and these social media platforms are, it's not as much of the wild, wild west as it was when I first started, but people are land grabbing now. People are really trying to build their brands, and people are building billion-dollar, like I'm talking 9-figure, billion-dollar brands off these platforms with no outside funding, with no reliance on wholesale and being in big stores and being held to their mercy anymore. We're in a really golden time period right now.
Well, we'd love to discuss this more with you. Unfortunately, we've got to take a break.
And to all of our listeners out there who want to build a brand, go to jportmedia.com. That's JPORT media.com.
Thank you very much. Thank you, Jason. We'll have you back on again. We really enjoyed this. We have a lot more to talk about. Thank you very much. KHTS 1220 and 98.1 FM. We're all right.